Well, bonjour and comment allez-vous? Comment allez-vous? We hope you had a great week so far, and welcome to We Talk. As the Georgia might say, she talks, Keith talks, and we talk. So we're glad that you all could make it. But in our usual fashion, if you haven't been here before, the first thing that we do, we toast up. So here's to everybody on the line. And we truly hope that you had a blessed week so far. And if not, y'all know why we here. We here to make it better for you and give the people some information. And we love doing it, okay? So here's to everybody on the line. All right, we had a great discussion last week if y'all weren't with us, but it was about elevating and how do you know when you've outgrown your circle. Man, I'm telling you, it was refreshing and I'll tell you, it was good. All right? So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring my co-host on so we can get started. But we hope that y'all joined in last week because we're going to caveat into something different tonight along the same lines, but it's going to be a little different, okay? All right. Hey, Miss O'Neill.
Hey. Like he said, he talk, Keith talks, I talk, and we talk. Hey.
And she does a lot of it. Hey, but we love her. We ain't gonna hold it against her. I mean, she keeps us laughing and keeps it going. Hey, thanks for the flashes and all of that good stuff that you all are sending. We're so happy and we love all of you. Hey, Keith, what's happening, boss?
What's up? What's up?
Oh man, I can't call it just another day, another dollar, brother. Another 50 cents, because that dollar don't go far nowadays.
Hey man, it's crazy out here. Crypto done went down. It's crazy.
Oh, hey, you know why? Because when folks that kidnapped Miss Golden was trying to get cryptocurrency, $50 million or something like that.
Would you say that again?
That you following that the anchor on I think it's ABC. Her mother was kidnapped about
Oh, the Guthrie chick. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah. So that's what drove it down. That request for that 6 million. But we hope that they find her. It's been way too long, so hopefully they'll get some information on it.
Yeah, that's a crazy situation.
Yeah. I don't want to speculate, but I got my ideas. But we're gonna leave it at that for now.
Mm-hmm.
So, DeJoya, how you doing?
Doing awesome. How are y'all?
Oh, we're great. We're great. I can't complain.
Yeah, I just be sitting over here. I just be sipping my juice. You know, I am the real lunch lady. I got the juice, baby, not the tea. That's what I be doing.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
Hey, Malcolm told me to tell you, don't be getting all your secrets away. He said this ain't the Lunch Lady Chronicles. This is we.
All right, brother Malcolm.
Hey, look, I told her you ain't gonna stop, so I'll mention it, but it ain't gonna change nothing.
Now y'all just keep me in prayer.
All right. All right. So listen, last week we talked about like I said, how do we know when we've outgrown our relationship, and how do we know we're evolving? So if you missed it, I would highly recommend that you check it out because it had a lot of good information. You all will be surprised what information that comes out of these lives. It's not just our opinions, but we do some extensive research and we've got professionals that we kind of consult with every now and then. But it was a good live. But this week, we're going to be talking about how do we improve our partners?
Lord have mercy.
How do we improve our partners in hopes in making our relationship better? Listen, everybody knows how to bail out. Everybody knows when times get hard and then relationships start struggling financially, emotionally, sexually, or whatever. Everybody knows how to bail out.
Bruh, it took me about 40 years. That's how long Jesus and Moses walked the desert, didn't he? Shoot. Yeah, some people
40
might know
days
it
and
just
40
might be a little
nights.
slow. Huh?
It was 40 days and 40 nights. If you took
Oh,
40 years, yeah, you got him beat. You got
well
Jesus
you
beat.
well, you know, I was 40 something. But I that long. Okay, y'all, okay, no.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so listen, improving our partner, and this is why people have difficulty in making their relationships better. And it's for this sole reason, because they don't understand that improving our partner is not about control or criticisms. As I said earlier, it's thank you for the hearts. It's easy for us, or most of us, to bail out when times get hard. But we're going to try to give some remedies to make it a little better so you'll stay a little longer if it's warranted. Some relationships you just got to let them go. If they ain't meant to be, they ain't meant to be. But
Excuse me, but I don't know if Callie need to be on this one because remember she the one last time I was saying I was gonna catch him with the frying pan. She said catch him between the stove and the refrigerator with the frying pan. So that's how you improve. You need your frying pan. Remember I told you my grandma got all sizes. I don't know what size she had, but I'm just saying. I'm just
well,
saying.
hey, well, I know Callie. If she's around, she'll be on. If she's
Okay.
around, she'll be on.
She, she right there, so we ready.
Oh, she already there? Oh Lord, y'all gonna have some fun here tonight. Okay, but improving the relationships is not about control or criticisms. It's about mutual growth that's built on communications, trust, and support, and compassion. Notice I drug out that last word compassion. And there's a reason I did that. So here we go. When couples focus on understanding each other, holding healthy accountability. That don't mean blame. As I said, it's not about control and criticism. It's about holding healthy accountability. And when you do that, you align with shared goals. Your goals should be somewhat similar. You should be working toward the same thing. They create a safe space where both people can grow individually and together. See, a lot of times in relationships, people are afraid of growth. And let's say, I'll just give you one small example. If you are from a traditional background with a traditional understanding of relationships and marriage, then there's a pecking order that you must follow. So, for instance, if the woman becomes the relationship, becomes the breadwinner in the relationship, then that might bring on some resentment. And it's only because we've been taught traditionally that the male or the dominant partner in the relationship should be the breadwinner. Am I just speaking on it, or is that the truth? Where I came from, that's how we were taught. The man take care of the woman, or now the dominant partner takes care of the feminine part of the relationship,
Get it together now.
and that role that role should never change. So me personally, I really don't care. As long as we've got a relationship and we're striving together, I don't care who makes the most money as long as it's coming into the house. You understand me?
I just think it makes a difference um, because I think it should be a we or us versus mine and yours. And I had to learn that. I had to learn that because when I grew up, that's how it was too.
Yeah, yeah.
Personally, I don't feel like, like how when we were growing up and they were like, oh, the man's supposed to pay the bills, the man's supposed to do this, the man's supposed to do that. Now, grant you, I ain't finna pick up nail tool, kill nail snake, nail possum, none of that. But we could share money. We could put our money together. So if he make 50,000 and I make 50,000, we can make. Y'all know how I'm about these numbers. Let me add a 2 and carry the 1. We can make 100,000 together. You know what I mean? But I think,
Yeah, hey, you're right. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
yeah,
I'm just saying that some of that, I believe, this is just me, so don't y'all nail me to the cross. I believe some of the roles should remain intact.
they do. I
Okay.
mean, they should, but what I mean, I guess, is that if it's time to pay a bill, and let's just say the light bill need to be paid, I'm not finna wait on him to get home to pay the light bill and be in the dog standing there with a candle and be like, I tried to submit. No, I'm gonna pay the light bill and be like, hey, baby, I paid the light bill. The lights is on, and I'm gonna hold my hand out like this. You know how your grandma used to hold her hands out? That's how I'm gonna
Oh yeah.
be. But I don't have a I think that things should be a shared responsibility to a degree, because I think that sometimes women I'm just speaking for me, so don't y'all
Be
start
careful
dinging me
now.
either.
Be
But
careful.
I think that sometimes because we women are taught, oh, now they got this, oh, I'm strong, I don't need a man, I'm this, that. I think that it's still important for us to submit. And I don't mean like submit, let them tie you up and none of that, even though that might be fun. But I mean submit. I just had to get that in because y'all know that's fun, right? We don't let them tie you
Uh,
up with no Boy Scout not though. But I think that it's important for the woman to be able to submit to the man, to be able to talk to him and be able to say, hey, this is what we need, this is what's happening, or this is what I did. I think it's important to know when to step back and let him take that male role or that dominant role, and things like that. But some women have a problem with that because everything is so twisted now. They say, oh, I don't need no man to help me pay no bills. I don't need no man to help me do it. Yes, you do. I do. Speak for yourself, sis.
well,
But I'm gonna just,
I want to speak on that real quick. I think I think that's more of a fear, and again, everything is not all inclusive. But I think when most women say that is out of fear or out of anger. I don't think that comes from a good place when you're talking about a relationship, because if you want to be in a relationship, you got to understand that we were created to coexist as a society, and we were created to have partners. So when people
right.
say that, it's been my experience, most people say that they don't need a man, or I can do it all by myself.
They
And don't
speaking for them now. Hold on. They speaking
yeah,
for
yeah.
them, not me. Go
And
ahead.
don't get me wrong, I do believe that each individual should have their own independence, but it does not have to be separate and apart from the relationship. That's what we're going to talk about. Yeah,
But the thing is, and I don't want to say the wrong way, but you have to know your role. You have to know where your role is, because that man needs you for support, just like you need that man for support emotionally, physically, all that. And I don't mean to use the word fall short, but if something should be happening, you as the other part should be able to step in when needed and not be like, well, I'm not finna pay no bills. I'm not the man. He make this, he make that. No, both of y'all gotta live in the house, right? Now, I'm not talking about them people that don't never get no job, still walking around with their pants hanging down, with the hat turned to the back, none of that. I'm talking about a real man and a real woman, or real people trying to coexist together to become better and to be better. That's what I'm talking about.
yeah. And the thing is, I just don't get it. And I've heard and seen this happen where if one partner has all the money, particularly a female, if she has all the money and the male, they are honoring that role for the man. If he comes up short, I've heard, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, Keith and DeJoya, where women would say, well, he the man, he's supposed to get it. I'm not giving him anything. and they're in a relationship. That's crazy. That doesn't
No,
make
they
sense.
ain't in a relationship. That's not a relationship. That's something else. That's what you call them, them hunching buddies or something. They not in a relationship. That's not a relationship. You know,
What you
and
think about that, Keith? Have you
it's
ever
not.
heard? Huh?
Mm-mm.
I agree, but I mean that's how. Those are the things that I've heard
That's
before.
a situationship.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't no titles on
Oh,
it. That's one of them.
okay.
That's one of them friends with benefits or whatever that's going on. Yeah, because if you real, you real, and
Yeah,
you didn't get with your person because you need them to pay your bills or something like that. So in a situation, if you're together, in these cases we're talking about, what you're doing is for the whole, the betterment of the whole family, not for one said person or me to get the credit or I paid this bill, so now you this or that. No, that's when,
yeah, that's
I
yeah.
mean,
crazy.
I've heard. Matter of fact, I won't call no names, but I've heard a person, and we know this person, Gregory. But I've heard somebody say, "Oh, a marriage is a business. You treat it like a business transaction." What the hell? I ain't no hoe. What you mean? We ain't in no business like that. When you say that, I get messed up. Like,
Yeah, it's
what do
crazy.
you mean? What do you mean? This treated like a business transaction? Hold on, wait. I ain't asked you for $40
Because
and a whatever that double deuce or whatever they call them. So I think people have their terminologies mixed up. I think they don't know what a relationship is. So when you want to talk about making your partner better, first you have to know what a healthy relationship is and the benefits and things like that before you can even speak on it. And because of the way the world is today, and welfare has been designed to take the man out of the home. So I mean that in itself,
Oh Lord, we don't want to go into
no,
that now.
I'm not. I'm saying. I'm
I feel
saying that to
I
say
feel
this.
you.
So all of these things, the system is designed to break up the roles of the family, to break up the family, and this and that and the third. Even if you don't want to touch it, it is what it is. And those things are what causes the breakdown in what is a healthy relationship.
Yeah, well, I mean,
well,
listen.
Period.
love is unconditional. That's the last thing I'll say. And you don't count score. You don't keep score if you really ride for that person. So if you got the money and your person is driving a hoopty and they need a new car to get to work and they struggling, let's say hypothetically, and you really with them, I'm gonna buy them a car, man, because
Listen.
I can't have my lady stranded on the road, right? In
Well,
these
I'm glad
things.
I ain't
But
your lady because I can't drive. Don't buy me no car.
I'm just you crazy. I'm just giving the example of love doesn't keep score if it's unconditional love that comes from the heart and that you both are in it to win it for each other. It's called a relationship. You're supposed to complement each other. So what we're talking about making each other better, well, sometimes that means you see the other person working hard, maybe you got to step in and help. At that time, there's going to be another time that they might help you. But it's not like keep score type of thing. It's not, it comes from the heart. But anyway, go ahead, Mr. G.
I mean, you know what? I will say this, and Honey and I've had several issues where I'd be like, "You just so hard on me, and you just so mean when you say it, and this and that." But I realize that it's not him being hard on me; it's him making me better and him making me stronger, so that I am equipped either way to handle things. Right? I may not be able to handle it in the financial capacity that he's able to handle it, but I can handle it in other ways so that he'll be able to catch up whenever he can. And by the way, when we start talking about that, what you're giving in your relationship and what one person puts forward, and I start saying, well, what do I do for you because I started questioning myself and I had to literally hear from him what I brought to the table. And I just stopped counting when I was like, well, financially I'm this and that and whatever. And I said, well, when things happen, I want to take care of myself because you can't take care of me. But and so one day he broke me up from that. I happened to look in my bank account. You know how you stroll down your little transactions and stuff. And I
Right,
added that
right.
junk up. That was like $20,000, $30,000. I say, oh, I ain't gonna never say that again because he been taking care of me. But so sometimes things have to happen to really bring you into the realization that it's not always things you notice right away. that's keeping your relationship healthy or making you better. It might be things that seem, until you have to notice them, you don't notice them. You know what I'm saying? So I've just got to that point, no matter how small I may feel like my contribution is, I realize that it's big to him, because maybe without, that's what he needs me in his life for, to keep him grounded in that way, just like I need him to keep me grounded in a certain way. And I
Absolutely.
think that because people measure things so much, ain't nothing no scale, because baby, if I had a scale, mine would be on the floor, because he be, doing things. And I had to learn not to compare myself to the male roles in my life. You can't, as a female, compare yourself to a male, just like a male should not compare himself to the feminine roles in a relationship.
Okay, well,
You
see, the
know,
whole thing is if the whole purpose and part of helping your partner become better comes from there's no conditions placed on love. If you really
right,
love somebody in the relationship, you cannot place conditions. You just made an interesting point where you said people make a comparison. You can't compare yourself as an individual in a relationship in a competitive manner. You cannot do that. If you're competing against your spouse or your significant other, then you're going to cause problems because now you're not worried about growing together. You're worried about being in front. When you
right,
compete, you're beating someone. There's no equivalency when you talk about competing. Somebody wins and somebody loses. And even in a tie, you do it over to break the tie. So you're not growing consistently as a couple. And part of that, making your partner better, is having shared goals, having a shared vision. You sit down, you figure out what's important in this relationship at this particular time because your visions and your goals are going to change as you grow. And particularly if you're growing properly, you're going to get better. He or she is going to get better because all of you, both of you, are concentrating on that goal. Now, true improvement happens when both partners commit to that growth. If you're committed to the growth of the relationship, that's when you are growing the relationship. Although you may be growing as an individual, but true improvement happens when both partners commit to growth, they respect boundaries, and they work as a team toward a stronger and more fulfilling relationship. So your relationship may be okay, but even if it is okay, there's always development. There's going to be growth. There's going to be new challenges. So you have to always be working toward a stronger relationship. If you're satisfied with the way it is, one of them player boys or girls, they're going to come and snatch them up because they're gonna present themselves like they're going to the moon. They're flying to the moon. You happy right here on the earth. You understand?
I mean, I think you have to get to this point. Before I matured and really came into my own, I had to realize that I can't be with somebody that has nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying? I can't be with somebody that has nothing to lose. And I said that twice, because if you're with somebody that has nothing to lose, then you are in a lost situation. You have to be with somebody that's willing to fight to keep something that really has something to lose, because that way you all will gain much more together.
Absolutely.
There's so many times, you get into these empty relationships. Oh, well, he do this, and oh, he do that, and all of that. And oh, well, he did buy me this, or he did do this. Why do you have to think so hard about what he did do or what it is? If you're with the right person, you're not going to have to think about it. It's going to come like this. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know what? We got together, we got the house together, we both, got an extra bank account, we got this, we're prosper. Your word. prospering together, and things like that. So I always, when I got older and really came into my own, as I said, I wanted to find somebody that had a lot to lose, because I knew that if we get together, we don't want to lose. No, we want to win. We want to
You're gonna
continue
help
to
them
grow.
lose it.
Huh?
So you say, yeah, that's up my alley. I'm gonna help you lose it, right?
Now I'm gonna help us keep it. I ain't trying to lose nothing, y'all. You look, listen. I ain't trying to lose nothing. Lunch lady trying to stop being a lunch lady. I'm trying. I'm trying to own my own lunch business.
Hey,
Things like
look,
that.
let me say this before I forget, because Callie made a good point. You said that it puts women into their masculine energy. All right, listen. All right, I don't. I believe that. I believe that women and men, they have both of those traits. But I think that when a woman gets too much testosterone and too much masculinity, then it belittles the male component in that relationship. And one thing I know about men, or at least the ones that I know, that they feel less than if you diminish their position. So that's one of the things that if women are doing that, and I get it, everybody's got both of those energies uh, in the relationship, but there's a place and there's a degree that you apply your masculinity. You might be able to turn a wrench, but that ain't what you're supposed to be doing.
Bruh, I ain't even finna be doing that. That too
I'm just
much.
saying.
Okay, don't I ain't doing that.
Now look, and I want to make one point on something you said. You said that welfare and the system is designed to keep the male out of the household or to break up the family
Break the family.
construct, right? I agree with that 100%. But here's my thing. All before modern day, the millennium, the late 1990s and 80s and 70s, those conditions and constraints were placed on all of us still yet. But during those times, and I don't want to date myself, the 60s and the
Go on,
70s,
Daddy. Go on.
the 60s and 70s and 80s, the family structure stayed together. How was that? If they still had the same type of system, and I truly believe, yes, it's designed to remove the male, particularly minority males, from the home, how did those families survive and stay together back in those days?
Because the values were lost.
Absolutely.
The values were lost,
Absolutely.
and like now, like my kids, I have two boys, 21 and 34, and there's times that I'll be like, you need to go ask your daddy, go this, go that. But I hear a lot of other female, what they need to ask their dad for. I'm the mama. I'm the mom. No, there's some things I can't give the lesson of a man to my sons, because I'm a woman. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not I'm saying I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna give you that. And like I said, people have it so mixed up as to what it means to be successful or run the family. Just because I'm a woman, just because the dad is not in the home, that doesn't mean that he has less responsibility to the man child, to the son, or to the daughters. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
But women have to learn to take a back seat. That's not diminishing you as the mother, as the carrier of the vessel, or whatever it's called. You know what I'm saying? It's just that
yeah.
you know your role. Sometimes things come better from the man. Listen,
Well,
huh?
go ahead. I'm gonna address that.
Even with my granddaughters, right? I can look at them and they be like, okay, Nanny don't play. But then if they granddad say something or whatever, they like, it's like the voice of God came over. So, we as women and in the family, we have to get back to that role to know that we can't do everything. We can't be the disciplinary, the nurturer, the this, the that, the that. Now I can see if the male figure maybe have passed away and there's no one left or something like that. But still at some point you gotta put some kind of masculine without the female masculine energy. I'm talking about the masculine, to knock you out kind of energy back in their life.
Well,
So
the
and that's
thing
just my
is
opinion.
that each role was created by God Himself. So there's a reason that those positions and the strength is attributed to men, and the femininity is attributed to women, because they have different roles, nurturing and one being the provider. Now, don't get it twisted. That doesn't mean that we got a lot of single family homes where a woman or man has to take on both roles. But that doesn't diminish what the purpose of each one of those species are. Somebody said, I'll pay a bill and take out the trash in one day, and I'm putting on Dickie cargo pants.
That was Callie.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. But yeah, so my thing is that I don't think it's just wholly the system to blame when we talk about welfare and Section 8 and all these government programs that are designed to do just what you said. I believe that it has to do with the traditional value and what people use as their measuring sticks in their lives now. I
But we've
don't think.
allowed it. We've given power over to that. Let me put it that way.
Oh yeah,
We've
yeah,
given
yeah.
permission for different things to take over what it really should be. That's what I mean.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. So, so listen, like I said, they should be, or each relationship should be working to make a more stronger and fulfilling relationship. If your relationship is not growing, I guarantee you it won't last long. Most people become complacent even when you're older. There's still different challenges and there's still different growth, because don't anybody know everything. So there's always opportunities to grow together and learn, and still allow for an individual to have their individual growth. This has become the complex problem. When you're growing, you want to deprive someone else of their individuality. You cannot grow as a partner and deprive someone else of their individuality. I want to say that again. You cannot grow if you're in a relationship and you deprive someone else of their individuality. A lot of times that happens because people are afraid. They have low self esteem. If you start growing too much, they think that they're going to lose you. All right. If you feel that way, then the relationship isn't that solid from the beginning, because that should be one concern that you should never have. Personal growth and self improvement goals are essential. When we focus on what habits are holding us back individually, how we can support each other's goals without pressure. You know how some people, they'll support you, but you see that frown in their forehead, or you hear that mumbling under their breath. Come on, y'all know what I'm talking about. When people be really supporting you, but they don't really want to support you. So you have to be able to do it without pressure, and then you start growing together rather than growing apart. That's when the relationship becomes unselfish. If it's not growing that way, then it's a selfish relationship. If you're growing apart, that means that someone in the relationship is selfish. No ifs and buts about it. If you're growing apart, that means someone considers themselves in a higher position than you. Whether or not most people do it when they're financially stable, or they have more than the other person. They use money, they use resources, they use connections in the wrong way because they use it to belittle or make the other one feel less than and to establish control. They use it to establish control. All of those things I've mentioned are control mechanisms to keep you in place. I ain't gonna give you no money if I keep you in the house, as they say in the old days, barefoot and pregnant, and I know you ain't going nowhere. Like a pocket full of money, you might get encouraged to go outside that boundary. And because I'm not living in the relationship or true to the relationship, that's how I govern my household, which is wrong. All right? Now, if we start considering our partner's needs, if we just start, I'm not saying doing anything at this particular point. I'm saying if we just start considering our partner's needs, it will always bring my favorite thing, and that's peace and understanding. I love peace and understanding. That's what makes the world go round. That's the ultimate, regardless of how much money you have, how fine you are, what big house you have, what expensive car you drive. Without peace and understanding, it means nothing. Billy D. Williams, or what's her name? Diana Ross said, "What is love if you don't have nobody to share it with?"
You been watching Mahogany.
That's it. I remember that one famous line. I always remember that line.
Oh, anything Billy D. Williams said is famous. Jesus, God bless him.
Oh yeah, Billy D was the man back then. So when we start sheltering all of these material things and using them as a crutch to govern our relationship, then you're not making your partner better. You're just eroding the relationship. Again, your peace is the most important thing. I don't care. Listen, it's just like once you start getting older and you get all of this money and you're able to do things, your focus kind of changes because now you've worked all your life, or you were lucky and came into money or whatever. Now it becomes health. So your health, what do they say, is your wealth. Because once you start getting into bad health, it don't matter how much money you have. So for all the people on the line, always keep things in the proper perspective. If you have all the money you want, and I asked this question last week, what would you do next? Well, if you're in bad health, ain't much you gonna do. So if all things equal and you're in good health, start thinking about what would you do if you had all the money you needed? What would be your priority? It ain't the money no more. It ain't the job no more. It ain't saving up for a vacation. It ain't buying the house, because you can do all those things. So absent all of those things, and you've already acquired those things, what would you do with your life? Now, that has nothing to do with this live. I just felt it was in my spirit to put it out there. All right.
You done told us off.
Oh, I'm going to get back to it. You know I am. Part of making our partners better is to focus on discipline. You have to have discipline in the relationship, motivation, and shared vision, as I've said repeatedly, because that's very important. You have to have a shared vision in your relationship. Emotional safety and vulnerability is necessary. But here's the problem with that. You want a relationship where your partner can be vulnerable. You want a relationship where they can feel emotionally safe. They can share with you. But here's the problem. It exposes truths that can only be revealed to people who have earned their trust.
You see how I'm looking at with one eye at you, right?
Yeah,
Because
because hey, that's the truth. People are not.
I don't
Listen,
know.
let
I
me say
have a
this
big
before you
problem with that
start.
though.
Let me say this: people will not expose. Now, and I'm gonna let you have it in a minute. But people will not expose how vulnerable they are if they don't trust you. You're not gonna open up to someone you don't trust about your weaknesses. Go ahead, because I'm gonna elaborate on that. Go ahead.
Now I'm gonna let you go on and elaborate, cause gone.
No, you said you had a problem with it. I
I
want to know
was
what
just saying,
problem.
like, I have a problem, like, being vulnerable or, um, I don't know, I guess letting my guard down, so to
Right.
speak.
And most
Um,
people do.
and I don't think it'll take a minute for me to get to the point where I'm able to do that. And I guess because of things that I've gone through, it has nothing to do with him, just things that I've gone through. And I always have my guard up. Like I'm not a crier. You ain't gonna see that. I'm just not emotional with some things. I
Hey,
understand.
the
Hmm.
Georgia, a lot of people are, but that don't make it right. I'm just trying to tell
No,
you
well, it
that
ain't right now.
because if you have a partner that's really interested in growing your relationship, how is he going to find out what needs to improve in your own personal development? By you being vulnerable, and I'm only saying this for people who you love. I don't expose myself to people who I don't care about and who don't care about me. But we're talking about people in a relationship. So your vulnerability really allows that person to learn, and you never know, it may improve them as well.
Mm.
So I get it why some people are afraid to do it. If you've been in traumatic relationships and you've had some hardships or some hurts or some pain, yeah, I know it's not easy, but it still has to be done at some point of time, or your relationship is going to suffer. You got two choices: to learn and grow, or just to put your relationship in an awkward position, which may not, it may be necessary for that to happen for it to survive. I'm
Mm.
just saying. But I get your point, and a lot of people are like that, male and females, predominantly females, though. So I'm just saying this is in everybody's interest, and this is through the research and through my experiences that that's what has to happen. And until that happens, you don't completely involve yourself or give yourself to the relationship. As simple as that. All right?
Mm.
You say you ain't trying to hear that, right?
Mm.
All right. Here's what we should ask. We should ask the questions such as, does he or she feel safe being fully honest with me? Back to what I just said. Do they feel safe being completely honest with me? Now that means that you're going to get into some muddy water and some gray areas because of what I just said. People will not expose themselves if they don't trust you. That's the takeaway. If your partner does not trust you, so here's a lesson. I'm stomping my feet. If they won't open up to you, it means they don't completely trust you. That's one part of it. That doesn't mean that's always the case. But 9 times out of 10, that's going to be it. A lot of people won't open up because it's painful. Or it brings back bad memories. But here's my problem and the question I ask people. If you don't get past it, then how do you expect your relationship to get better?
Well, it ain't bad. Shit. Shit. What? I'm just trying to tell you now. Ooh,
something is seriously wrong with you.
Okay, I'm just trying to tell you now.
Something is seriously wrong with you. I don't know what it is.
Bruh. Oh.
I'm just saying, how can you expect it to get better?
Ooh. I'm just saying, it's getting there.
So you're not gonna do anything to change that. You're gonna rock
that thing like a 57 Chevy. It about crunk up. You know how it sputter a little bit when you get ready to crank it up. It's getting there. It's gonna catch after a while. The starter gonna catch after a while. Now,
wow, you are.
Y'all know how them 57 Chevy start up, a little dust come out, the little thing backfire a little bit, but after when it catches on.
Okay. All right. So that's one question you have to ask Miss O'Dell. Do they feel safe by being completely honest? And what makes them shut down emotionally? You know, you can have conversations with people, and this is about making your partners better. So you can have conversations with people, and you can tell there's some different body language that goes on. There's some awkward silence at times. So you can tell, right?
Tell what?
If
Ain't
they
be no
shut down,
silence because I be talking.
now I'm not only talking about you. We're talking in general.
Okay.
My Lord have mercy. But they sometimes people shut down emotionally. And the other question you can ask is, how can I respond better when they're vulnerable? Because sometimes vulnerability is one of those things it's almost like a dagger in the heart if you don't respond properly, or if you chastise and you make that situation better. I mean, you make that situation worse. So we have to practice and learn what makes our partners tick so that you can decide and come up with a more effective way to respond to them when they've shared their intimate secrets or that hurt or that pain.
I mean, you know what? I'm loving it all, and you know whatever. I rub his head and no. Listen, I don't know. I don't know how to respond to I don't know how to respond to that because my life, and I'm trying to scratch my head so I can get this right. But my life and things that happened to me made me like that. So before I respond or anything, I have to be like, wait a minute now, not what would Jesus do, or what I'll just be like, Lord, what should I do? Because I know how I know how I think, and I know what my temperament is and what my threshold is, and I can be rather forward, like I said. So I just have to, sometimes I just have to rub his head and be like, baby, I don't quite know what to say right now, but I hope this helps,
Okay. Well, I mean, they're at least
trying though.
listen to Joy. What I'm saying is, you have to attempt to open up because those things are necessary. I mean, it's just the way it is. Nobody wants to be with someone who they feel don't fully trust them. They don't.
No.
People, when you join with someone in holy matrimony or in, or like Keith say, a situation, people want to feel that you can trust them. Now, some people take advantage of your trust, but that's just a part of life. There's nothing going to be bulletproof to keep the hurt or the pain away. It may happen, but as long as we're growing and getting better, then that's all we can do. And hopefully, if you use the right gauge when you select your partner, you've selected someone who really care about your feelings and gives you a lot of consideration.
Now, see that why the Lord gave me somebody that's just straightforward and to the point. Because when I have to be that way, like literally, I have to do the little squares on the paper with the little stick figures. Can we talk about this? Yes or no? Are you mad at me? Yes or no? Because if I have to ask you, it's gonna come out the wrong way. So
I understand. I get
that
just what you're
part.
saying. I get just what you're saying. And that, nobody said it was going to be easy. So I understand 100%. It is a difficult thing, especially, I mean, if you come from a situation where your trust was taken for granted and you couldn't be honest, or someone took advantage of your trustworthiness, then yeah, it's difficult. That hurts. That's painful. But I'm just saying, in order to be a better person, we have to get over it.
Right.
There's something that we can do to get over it. Okay. Now, because those issues can't be overlooked. You know, trust, intimacy, and security are part of the process during the relationship. They can't be overlooked. Habits, health, and lifestyle choices. That's what that forms. All of those things help form your habits, your health, and your lifestyle choices. Because if you really think about it, you can be stressed over something that doesn't even exist. So when you don't completely be honest with your partner, they could be stressed and wondering, okay, what did I do? I mean, I know I've been in situations like, hey, my partner mad at me, and I'm like, I don't think I did anything. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm figuring out, what did I do wrong? Because you can't have one person. Here's the other issue that most people have a problem with. You can't be the one that says, I got it all together. That's not a relationship. And you may, in fact, be the one who understands. You may be the greatest communicator. You may be the one that's perfect as far as showing your vulnerability and being honest. But you aren't the only one in the relationship. See, a lot of people have that problem in their relationships. Yeah, hey, I'm good. I don't have a problem communicating with him or her. I'm completely honest with him or her. You're being braggadocious, and you think that helps the relationship. That doesn't help the relationship because you next to God. Your relationship is about a what? A set of shared values. So if I'm worried about my relationship and I'm working toward the betterment of my relationship, then I have to understand that. I'm sure they're better at some things than you are. And I'm speaking to anybody on the line that feels that way. Because I got it together, I don't have the problem. Yes, you got the problem if you're in the relationship. If you can't communicate effectively, if they can't be honest with you, if you're not one of those people who are providing, if you're not one of those people who are nurturing, if that's your role, you're going to have problems. And that does not assist in making your partner better. So we have to understand that. Now, our daily routine should help our relationship and not hurt it. So what we do daily to make our partners better should help our relationship and not hurt it. For example, you like to party and you do that weekly. If your significant other don't like it or has talked to you about it and expressed that they do not like you going out every weekend, then you're not helping the relationship. You are hurting the relationship. So your daily activities should help the relationship and not hurt it. I'm just checking the messages, y'all. I'm not going anywhere. But I mean, we have to start thinking in terms of those values and those goals. If, again, if we feel that we're the one that's perfect in the relationship, it does not help that individual who may be weaker than you are. As simple as that. All right? So, all right, I got Miss O'Neill back. Now, now listen. You have to consider how does sleep, stress, diet, or alcohol affect the relationship. All these external forces, all these things that we just take for granted and we do daily, we have to look at how it affects our relationship. If you're drinking, or if you're smoking, or if you do snorting or doing whatever you do, you have to look at how that affects your relationship. We all know the negativity of anything that we overindulge in. Anything. Because all of that, back to my biblical part, all that is sinful. Gluttony, overeating, over sex, over whatever. That's gluttony. So we know that's going to have a negative impact on our partner and ultimately on our relationship. That goes without saying.
Well, I'm going to tell him right now, if I got to give up my Hennessy or Dulce or anything, it's over.
Hey, I'm with you on that because I'm not ever giving that up. But I'm a moderate. I do it moderately. I know the difference between gluttony and just being a social person that enjoys fine liquor and different things in life, these finer things in life. Okay, so now we have to. Now here's a point I want to make. When you can improve your relationship without blaming, you've made a heck of a leap into having a good relationship. Because the default to any time anything goes wrong is what? To blame. Who is responsible? I didn't do it. Or I did it because you did this. So when we get past that blame game, we know we're on our way to having a good and healthy relationship. Now, what do you say about that, DeJoy? You disagree with that too?
Now, I ain't going to disagree with everything. I'm trying to be a better woman. Shoot.
Yeah. Now, and then all of these things happen in stages. So we can't expect for someone to change overnight. But there is a method to the madness. and it comes in stages. So longevity, energy, and teamwork comes in the next stage. After you get past all of those things that we've discussed thus far, you have to worry about your energy, work on your energy, your longevity, and teamwork. Now, people might think that your energy doesn't affect your relationship. And I'm here to tell you, your energy affects everything you do. Once you become spiritual and once you elevate your thinking and start going places and travel the world and see different types of religions and meet different kinds of people, you begin to understand that your energy, without speaking the language, without being part of any group, your energy transcends. Your energy is felt, not heard.
And that's why women a lot of times are always ahead of men, because women are always on surveillance. Like they the FBI, the CIA. They surveilling you at all times, right? Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Some men think they slick. They think, oh, well, she don't notice this or she don't know that. No, actually, she actually does. She waiting to see if you going to be honest or if you going to be forthright in whatever it is that you're talking about. So a lot of these situations, it's about being proactive. And if you care about your relationship, you're not waiting for the other person to say what needs to change or what can make it better. You're going to proactively come with those solutions because you're constantly thinking about the betterment, but it's not selfish. It's selfless. So you're looking at the whole. And in order to be selfless, you have to truly love yourself and have real respect for yourself and understand self-love. Because if you haven't learned how to love yourself, you can't love somebody else properly. So all these things that we're talking about is all with the understanding that you've learned how to love yourself and respect yourself and be what it is that you're supposed to be in a relationship. Because it's just like anything else. A lot of people want to find leaders to come work with them and be business partners with them. But if you ain't a leader, you wouldn't know one if a person walked right past you. So at the same thing, if you don't know how to love yourself, how you going to be in a relationship talking about this, and talking about these next level things that we talking about? So there's levels to all this.
Oh yeah. Hey, good point, Keith. That you said something there. And I hope people kind of picked up on that, because you got to have, first of all, you got to love yourself before you can love anyone else. You can't love anyone else if you don't have any self-love.
And let me correct that. The supreme architect first, then you.
Absolutely. Well, I'm giving people benefit of the doubt and that they understand that part of it. But you're absolutely right. But here, so as we were talking about earlier, helping out in a financial situation, and discipline and being responsible strengthens the relationship. You can't, because I'm making all the money and you're a man and you're supposed to make more than me. I've heard people say, well, you're the provider. You're supposed to do this. I ain't supposed to do nothing. I understand what my role is. If you do what you're supposed to, then we can talk. But there's nobody doing absolutely 100% of what they're supposed to do. Nobody. Some are close, like me.
Oh, jeez, here go this
But
nice stuff.
but I'm saying that you cannot have those kind of equations in your relationship. You can't have those kind of tests that you give your partner. It's not going to help. It's going to hurt your relationship, because people are going to become disgruntled. Some of them may be quiet and can't live up to it, but there's going to always be conflict. And conflict resolution is the thing that you have to concentrate on, so that you don't have issues outside of what most people have. And if you're in a loving relationship, the issues that you have are easily resolvable. And 9 times out of 10, all of them can be resolved by communication. But we fail to do that because we aren't effective communicators. That don't mean you have to be a graduate from Yale. It just means that you have to be considerate. It's very, very simple. All right? Now, so how do we spend our time when we're away from our partners?
Calling him every 5 minutes saying, I miss you. I love you.
Hey, well, that's a good thing. But the thing is, most people feel that, as Keith said, that, hey, they slick. It ain't going to be found out. Man, you can't slick a can of oil. Whatever's done in the dark is surely going to come to light. It just depends on when. And you may be okay for now. And even if it doesn't come out, you got to live with yourself. So it's coming out some kind of way. It's going to come out. You're going to feel some kind of way. And if you don't have any feelings, then you don't have any self-love. You don't have any God in you at all. So I say that because we have to consider what our partner may think of us by our usual habits. So when we're away from them, and we're talking about improving our partners, when we're away from them, don't you think for one moment that they don't feel what you may or may not be doing? Ultimately, we all have a spiritual awareness that's very high. And when them sensors go off, all that energy is just like an antenna. All of it comes to that one location. And that's in their mind. And normally it ends up with a pot in their hand standing at the door when you walk in.
Yep. With grits in it and hot water
I
and
said that for
everything.
you.
No. Okay, just so they know.
So it's very important to be aware, and first of all, do what's right, and you don't have to worry about anything. But understand that there's no way that your partner doesn't feel if you've had any kind of longevity in your relationship, and if you've had any kind of love, they can figure it out. They can figure it out. So don't be foolish and think that you slicker than a can of oil, because you're going to get your feelings hurt. All right? Now, the other thing that's going to help to make your partner better and ultimately your relationship better is to figure out, are our spending habits aligned together? Are our spending habits aligned? What you laughing at? That's always a joke when the dominant partner got all the money, and then the other one like, man, I ain't worried about no money.
You know, no,
But they have to align. It's good for the relationship. Do money conversations feel safe, or do they feel tense? If you can't talk about money, I'm telling you, you might as well go ahead and throw in the towel, because it's over. It's
I
over.
mean, he already know when I call him. Sugar. What had happened was
Yeah. And I
that's
need this, right? I
yeah,
just need, hey, look, most people like this, DeJoy and Keith, they call after they done screwed up the money. And they take that little lashing. Well, why'd you do that? You didn't think about this, John? Yeah, I'm gonna get it next time. You're right. You're right. Anything to get to that bread, right?
Yep.
And for the
Yep.
and look, it'll last for a good 3 days. Then and then here's the conversation in for the next time. Well, I did good, didn't
Yeah, that me. I did better. Well, instead of you having to give me $5,999, you only got to give me $5,998. So
I?
I did
So
better.
so there is some improvement. You got to acknowledge that, right? You got to
Yeah,
give me
just a little
credit for
bit.
that. I
Yeah,
feel you. I feel you.
one penny at a time.
Yeah. But listen, few couples have mature conversations concerning money, vulnerability, uh, economics. They have few conversations with those things, and they tear most relationships apart. The financial, the psychological, the emotional, those things that people don't talk about. So I would encourage people to talk about the things that are taboo, the things that are hard to discuss. Learn how to talk about it. You may not get it right the first time, and you may not get any resolution, but at least you're attempting to do something. And to do something toward the betterment of your relationship is better than doing nothing at all. That's just my personal belief.
You just closed out like Don Cornelius. I ain't know. Wait a minute.
Love, peace, and soul.
I know. He had me all mesmerized and stuff.
Listen,
Shoot.
but I'm
God.
just saying, few have those kind of conversations. You know,
Mm.
listen, everybody fights in a relationship or have disagreements, right? Right?
Yeah.
Everybody, right? So even in a fight, how do we recover from it? Do you spend a week just mad at the same thing? See, some things to me are just pure D, ignorant and stupid. Why are you staying mad about something that happened last Tuesday and now it's 4 Tuesdays ago?
You know, only way I stay mad.
Why? Go ahead,
I
Joe.
know. The only way I stay mad is if after we have an argument, I be willing to put everything aside. But if he don't say we gonna go get nothing to eat after that, I'm gonna stay mad. Now, if you tell me we gonna go get something to eat, then
Oh, we go.
I call it a truce.
Keith, we got to put her in the timeout corner. That you showing out tonight. You
I'm
gonna
just trying
be
to tell
I
mad.
you.
thought she was gonna say if she didn't hit him with the pot and knock him out right. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I
Hey,
said,
no.
shit.
If
she's gonna
long as
be
I,
mad. You're gonna
uh,
be mad
Because
if
you
she
didn't go
don't take
eat.
you to get nothing to eat.
no, I said I
Hey,
won't be
Paula, how are
mad.
you?
As soon
Huh?
as soon as soon as we get through arguing or whatever, I'm willing to let the bygones be bygones and whatever that saying is. But if you forget to say, now come on, we through arguing, give me a kiss and we gonna go get something to eat, I'm gonna be mad until you figure out that you forgot to say let's go get something to eat. Now
Mm.
that solves everything.
Man, you drive a hard bargain, but I feel you. Hey, the hard, what they say, the hard no, the hard wants what the hard wants. I guess your tummy wants what your tummy wants.
That's it. And I don't, even if you got a little piece of candy or something, don't give me no gum. I want some candy or something. But if you give me some gum, I'm still gonna be mad. But if you say we're going to eat, hey, let's
Okay,
go.
all right.
Good.
So, like I said, how do we recover when we have arguments? We shouldn't let things drag on because, to me personally, it ain't going to change anything. By you being mad, my philosophy is what? You gonna get glad. You can't stay mad forever. So the
Yeah.
sooner you get over it, it's the better. Because you're
Especially if
gonna
you
get,
sitting at that table eating.
you can be mad. The next thing you have to do is get glad. because you cannot stay mad. It's humanly impossible. Okay? No matter how much you eat,
He right.
you gonna get glad. So, what patterns do you keep repeating? If you're repeating the same patterns, then you know you have to change something, because that's the definition of being stupid or insane. Doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. And it ain't going to happen. All right, I'm going to let y'all got anything you want to say before I give them? I need to drop a couple jewels before we out of here.
Nope, I done gave him enough. I always go get something to eat and let everything start up like a 57 Chevy. Keep your frying pans and your pots handy.
Hey,
And
you're
everything gonna be all
not
right.
helping our viewers. We trying to give them some good, wholesome information that's going to enhance their relationship.
Okay, go on, Keith. I ain't got none. Let me go on.
Yeah. Keith, you got anything you want to add, bro?
I think the joy done covered it all. You know what I'm saying? So, so you go ahead and close out. I think we good. We got frying pans and pots. Make sure they cast iron, people. Black ones. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Make sure a hard handle. Yeah. Knock.
And go get something to eat after you do all that.
And go to IHOP. Go to IHOP. You know what I'm saying?
IHOP, Outback.
Outback. There you go. We can get some steaks at Outback. There we go.
Hey, thank you so much, Yvonne. I think that's how to pronounce it. Thanks for sharing the video, sharing the live. We certainly appreciate it. We love all of you all, and we want y'all to continue to come on back and support us and get this good information. But listen, so remember this. Conflict does not damage relationships. Conflict does not damage relationships. Unrepaired conflict does. If you don't repair it, that's what destroys a relationship, not the conflict itself. Because everyone is going to have conflict, disagreements in their relationships. If you don't repair what caused the conflict, that's what damages the relationship. When couples slow down, regulate their emotions, and that's a big stickler for me. Learn to control your emotions. You have to go deep inside yourself, but you have to learn to control your emotions. Start listening with empathy, and don't listen to prove a point. Don't listen to find fault in what your partner is saying. Listen with empathy. Take ownership from what you've done wrong. Hold yourself accountable. And intentionally reconnect. After all is said and done, you have to be intentional when you reconnect. Disagreements become opportunities when you do these things. Your disagreement becomes opportunities for deeper understanding rather than distance. If you don't repair, if you don't listen with empathy, your disagreements will become opportunities. They won't become opportunities for deeper understanding. It will increase the distance between you all. So in conclusion, when you lead with empathy, model the behavior that you want. Model the behavior that you want. Communicate honestly. Be honest in your communication and hold space for accountability without judgment. Hold space for accountability without judgment. You inspire change rather than force it. Now, ain't that something beautiful? You can inspire change instead of trying to force it on your partner. But you got to make sure their accountability is greeted without judgment. True improvement happens when both partners feel safe, respected, and supported in becoming better versions of themselves. True improvement happens when both partners feel safe, respected, and supported in becoming a better version of themselves. In that kind of environment, growth is mutual, sustainable, and rooted in love rather than pressure. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We had a great time. We'll see y'all next Wednesday, same time, same place. Au revoir, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, and goodbye. And we'll see you all next week. Take care. Thanks for joining.